Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majeed. Allahumma barik ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majeed. In today's dars, Imam Sahib is mentioning that at the end of last dars, we mentioned that plenty of extra nawafil prayers should be offered, and in this regard what should be remembered is that the best place for offering nafil is where one is on one's own and one is in solitude, so that he can in that kind of an environment he can speak to his God in secret and in a confidential manner. In this regard, Imam Sahib is saying that he came across a reference of Holy Masih Salis Anhu, which sheds further light on the wisdom of this. He says that the fact of the matter is that nafil should be offered in solitude, away from people, because many of the blessings associated with nafil prayers is to do with an atmosphere of silence and solitude, and a person who truly loves Allah, then he does not wish to express this love in front of other people. And now Imam Sahib saying we return to some more traditions to do with the etiquettes of salat. In the first of these, Hazrat Abu Hurairah Zanho relates that the Holy Prophet ﷺ said that the person who is in a congregational prayers being led by an Imam, if he raises his head before the Imam raises his head from a state of prostration, then is he not afraid that his head or his face would turn into that of a donkey, or that, in other words, that that Allah may take away his intelligence and his understanding. So this is another a very important etiquette of salat, which is which we need to remember, that before the Imam, the person following should not do any action before the Imam does that a particular action, whether it's to do with standing or sitting or coming up from prostration. The followers should only do an action after the Imam has said it. Sometimes people may think that they should go ahead of the Imam, or maybe they can guess that the next action is going to be taken, is going to happen, is going to occur. They may guess and do that action before the Imam does, and there is a great warning about such an action in Hadith, and it is a reminder that such doing this is something which is not very intelligent, and it is completely wrong. So this should be very carefully followed, and we should only do what the Imam, when we hear what the Imam is saying. Imam Sahib is saying that if there is a large gathering, for example, all the people are not able to see the Imam, but the only thing that carries to everyone, to all a big in a big gathering where the ladies are, etc., everywhere, the thing that carries the voice. So when the voice of the Imam is heard, only then should people do that particular action. And this is not just to do with salat, is to do with all sorts of things which are to do with any religious matters. We should not go ahead of the Imam in any religious matter. In the next tradition, the instruction of Allah that one should, if we see something wrong, we should try to stop people from doing it, either through the hand or through the tongue, etc. So in as an example of this, we find a tradition in the of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, where a gentleman came to the mosque where the Holy Prophet ﷺ was seated, and to the side he offered his salat, and came to the Holy Prophet ﷺ and said salam to him, and the Holy Prophet ﷺ said wa alaikum salam, and he said to him that go back and repeat your salat, because your salat has not been offered properly. And the man went back and he offered the salat and came back to the Holy Prophet ﷺ and said salam again. So this was the habit of these companions, that this was obviously an expression of respect and honor of the Holy Prophet ﷺ to say salam to him, and also by when hearing the Holy Prophet ﷺ's answer, that would mean that they would be the recipient of his prayers. So again, the Holy Prophet ﷺ told that man to go and repeat his salat, and he repeated again, and again he was sent back to do it. So this happened 3 times, and at this, the companion who was a recent convert, he said to the Holy Prophet ﷺ that I cannot offer my salat any better than this. So can you please teach me how to offer my salat properly? Look at the great good fortune this man had, that he did not know something and he immediately asked it directly from the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and he was able to ask him how to do the offer the salat properly. At this, the Holy Prophet ﷺ said with an extreme loving manner, he said that look, when you stand for prayers, you should say the takbir, and then you should recite the Quran as much as you can, and then you should calmly bow, and then calmly sit up and completely, and then go into prostration and do that completely, and then sit up and then stand up, etc. But so the whole salat should be offered in a calm manner. So this was a very beautiful way and a very loving way of explaining to him, without being harsh to him or saying something to him which would make him feel disrespected. So he very kindly showed him how to offer his salat, that you must offer this every section of the salat properly and calmly and with full concentration, and we should not offer salat as if it is God forbid some kind of a problem that has to be or a burden that should be removed quickly. It is a time of going before Allah the Almighty, so we should put our heart and soul into our salat. There is another tradition in this regard which has been reported by Hazrat Muawiyah bin al-Hakam. He says that once he was offering salat behind the Holy Prophet ﷺ. He was also a companion who had only recently accepted Islam. He says that once I was offering my salat behind the Holy Prophet ﷺ while the Holy Prophet ﷺ was the Imam, and someone sneezed who was offering the salat, and just as the teaching had been given to us, I said Yarhamukullah, that may Allah have mercy on you. This is exactly in accordance with the teachings of Islam, but not in the middle of salat. And the other Muslims who were offering salat, they started staring at me in a very harsh manner, that what has he done? And I said, oh, by my mother, why do you stare at me in such a way? So he said another thing as well. When he saw people's eyes looking at him and expressing their dislike of what he's doing, that because he was talking loudly. At this, the people who were standing there, they started slapping their thighs to express their displeasure and to express to him that he should keep quiet. He was a person who had only recently become a Muslim, so people usually do this when they are worried or anxious, and at this he understood that these people want me to keep quiet. They want to tell me that you should not speak during Salat. And when this incident finished, when the Holy Prophet ﷺ finished his Salat, he called me. Look at the love of the Holy Prophet ﷺ and his compassionate manner of teaching people. We should remember this, because if you wish to remind someone of something, if you want to admonish someone, he might get upset and he may not be happy that you corrected him. You shouldn't give that impression. You should always express love and kindness, and this is the manner the Holy Prophet ﷺ has taught us. So that companion said that when the Salat finished, the Holy Prophet ﷺ called me to himself, and he says that, may my mother and my father be sacrificed on him. I have never known anyone before or after him who was a more merciful educator than the Holy Prophet ﷺ. So there was no one who was more loving and kind than him. He says that I swear the Holy Prophet ﷺ did not scold me nor hit me, instead he, with extreme kindness and gentleness, he said to me, look, it is not right to speak during Salat. So he said this, that's all he said, that it is not right to speak during Salat. In the Salat you have to do tasbih and the recitation of the Holy Quran, etc. So he mentioned the important parts of the Salat. He said that he replied to the Holy Prophet ﷺ that I've only newly converted to Islam and I've only just come out of the era of ignorance and I did not know about these matters. And he also said that now Allah has given us the treasure of Islam. So at this incident ended. Someone made a mistake, and although the other people started staring at him and started to indicate to him that he shouldn't do this, even though they didn't do anything wrong, but the style of love and compassion of the Holy Prophet ﷺ was the best of all of them. And he called this person who had newly become Muslims and said in such beautiful words, and imagine what the state of his heart was. He said that, by God, I have never seen any educator who was more loving and compassionate than him. So this is a style we should all remember. Sometimes there is a need to give some advice to someone who is doing something wrong, and then at that occasion we should remember that we should, with extreme love, we should tell people, we should speak to them separately, not in front of other people, because he may feel embarrassed. Sometimes there is only a small matter and people don't understand it, so you should not mock him or say it in a unloving manner. You should say it in the way the Holy Prophet ﷺ used to give advice, always with love. May Allah enable us to adopt this beautiful style of giving advice and teaching people as the Holy Prophet ﷺ used to. Ameen summa ameen.